Hey guys, so the inspiration for this video goes out to RGO. Shout out to him. He's randomly sent me a message telling me that he really enjoyed my last mining video, and so I asked him if he had anything that he would want me to make a video on, and he said he wants something that basically has like a list that goes through the 2004 updates. So I decided that that's the purpose for this next video. So without further ado, we can get into it. All right, let's go ahead and focus in on the upcoming updates, or what may or may not be the upcoming updates. So if we look on this, the old school RuneScape wiki website from 2004, it actually states like all the updates. And so the thought is that I'd make this series where each month I'll kind of go over each update or what's expected in the next month's update. That doesn't guarantee that all these updates will be added the next time we get a game update, but it's just what we can expect after a short period of time. Or I guess nobody's even sure as to like how soon we can expect updates. But yeah, so basically we're at currently May. We're updated to May of 2004. So then the next update would be I believe it's this one. Basically, it's like a new game engine update. I don't think that this is something that um, will be involved at all with 2004 Scape, because I'm sure that the game engine that we're using is probably already up to date or in better position than it was back in 2004, but I could be wrong. And then then I guess the very first big thing would be the Elemental Workshop quest, and then the thieving changes alongside of that. So the thieving changes is that they reduce the amount of time that you're stunned for when you're caught thieving. So basically, I think it goes. I don't know how many ticks it is, but I'm pretty sure that it's a pretty decent amount of time that you save now from when you're stunned, or you will be whenever they implement this update. And then obviously from the Elemental Workshop, we'll be getting the new, for its time, it would be the new Magic Shield, um, which would be the Elemental Shield. And it doesn't give you magic bonus, but it's no negative magic bonus wearing it, and then it does give you a positive magic defense. I believe it's a +6 for wearing it. So, and that'll be, um, this should definitely be in the next update, just because it's like the next thing that the game is looking for, or what that we're looking for in the game, or that was updated next. I don't know how well. I'm gonna zoom in just so that it's a little bit easier to read. The next update that applies to us would be the agility one, and then a few some other bugs. Basically, the previous effect wasn't very noticeable, so it's been improved. So the agility level now decreases restore time by approximately 50% more than it did previously. So hopefully, it'll be worth be a bit more worthwhile now. Basically, your run energy will restore at a 50% faster rate. So that's actually going to be a huge update. That's going to allow everybody in the game to be more efficient. So, and then they also fixed some bugs. The fishing bug where animation didn't show in the right place because of large crowds. Basically, where it would make the fishing spot vanish. If any of you guys were ever fishing with a bunch of other people, like for instance lobsters in Catherby, a few times I'd go and you couldn't click on the fishing spot; it wouldn't even show up because there's so many people fishing on that same spot. So they fixed that bug, and then made random event NPCs appear on top of other players in crowded situations, so you don't accidentally miss them. So like right now, I know that if a NPC For instance, yesterday there was a big drop party. If an NPC was to spawn right next to you, it would spawn underneath another player instead of on top of another player. So you didn't even know it, but you could be genied or mysterious manned and not even realize it because there's just so many populated people and the NPC spawns underneath people. So this fix will make it so that the NPC spawns on top of people. And then fixed a bug with the chat list sometimes failing to work reliably if you try to use them and Smith at the same time. I'm not even sure what that refers to. I haven't had an issue, but there's obviously a bug there someplace. Fixed a bug that caused the client to occasionally lock up. Maybe this is the connection loss deal. I don't know, but if they have a way of fixing that, that definitely would be a quality of life improvement for the game. I would definitely enjoy it if we had less of the random connection loss deals. Fixed a bug with the welcome screen, sometimes displaying the wrong message. I don't think we need to worry about that because I think our welcome screen is different than original. And then fixed a bug with cinematic camera scenes, sometimes pointing at the wrong height. I think that's for like during quests. I think certain like cutscenes and quests, the camera was not located in the correct spot or whatever, and then just lists out other minor fixes, but it doesn't list them out. So they must not have been like a change so much to the game itself. And then after that, then it's the big one that everybody's been waiting for, and that is on the 14th of June. There was special attacks, and the special attacks were only added to the dragon weapons, the Excalibur, the rune throwing axe, and magic bows. And then it says there are many types of special attacks, from temporary boosts and stats to strikes dealing extra damage. For full details, see this page, but the link is no longer available to click on. And then it says in the combat interfaces of these weapons, you will now notice a new special attack bar. If you click on the bar, your character will initiate a special attack and use some of your special attack power. Different special attacks use up different amounts of power. If you do not have enough power for the special attack, then you can't do it, and your special attack power will slowly restore over time. And then it says also expect more types of special attacks on future weapons. So that's a big update, but alongside that is another big one, and then or a couple other big ones, and that is mining rocks and thieving from stalls. So like right now, basically if two people are trying to thieve from the same stall at the same time, only one person gets the resource, and now it's being fixed. It says right here, we have now fixed it back to the old behavior where if both people are successful at the exact same instant, they will both get the resource. So if we're both mining on a coal rock and we're both successful on the same tick, we both will get a piece of coal instead of just one. And that goes for like all your mining rocks and all of your thieving stalls. The other big thing is treasure trail clues. It says 2 more NPC types now drop treasure trail clues. Happy hunting. Doesn't tell us which 2, just tells us that there's 2 more. I can't even begin to think of what they would be, just because I'm not sure of what, I can't remember that far back what exactly took place as to what updates did what. Hopefully this will be clarified if and or when it comes to Lost City 2004 Scape. And then also Strange Fruit now heals more run energy than it did previously. It doesn't tell us how much more. But if I can remember back, I want to say it was like either 20 or 30% run energy that it now gains. I want to lean towards 30, but it might have been 20 because like right now it's only 10%. But at some point or at when the special attacks come, it should go up to like either 20 or 30. Okay, and then we'll move on to the next thing, which is this one, various tweaks to the game. The stone border around the edge of the game window is narrower, so I don't know if like certain types of tweaks like these, I don't know if these will be coming to 2004 Scape or if they're just going to leave this as is. I'm not sure. And then it says the chat scroll is now brighter, slightly brighter to make chat easier to read. And then here's the big one. When you click to use an item, it now has a white outline around the item to show that it is selected. If that one comes, that'll be a big update. It just makes it easier to see whether or not you have had a dead click on an item. Like for instance, when you're clicking on a ore to use on a furnace, if you click on the ore and you click on the furnace, sometimes because it didn't register the click on the ore, you'll like start running around the backside of the furnace or whatever. And then fixed several cases where two objects together only worked one way around. Basically, the order of the objects um, clicked in were um, made a difference as to whether or not an item was made. So I don't know which two objects they are, but obviously there was two that you couldn't do vice versa on. And then fixed a bug which meant the Ivan staff could be wielded at level 49 despite stating a requirement of 50 attack. Fixed a couple of dig site bugs where it would sometimes didn't recognize you had the required items. Apparently a lot of people had issues with this. I got lucky I didn't, but a lot of other people did, I guess. Fixed a bug with the treasure trail puzzle box where it occasionally didn't recognize you had completed it. I haven't run into this, but I've also only done one treasure box so far, or puzzle box so far. So if you have run into this issue, it's definitely something you should post about on the bugs page or whatever they call it in the Lost City Discord. And it just says lots of other minor changes. Okay, and then we will move on to oh, we missed this one. New in-game player moderators. So this is when they finally added two different crowns in the game. So basically, you have player moderators and staff moderators. The player moderators were limited to like, oh, it says right here, as well as being normal players, they also have a privilege of sending in priority abuse reports and can also mute players who are breaking chat rules. And then staff moderators can also do quite a bit more, but I don't know what the limitations are. But now, basically, what this update is saying that you're going to have a little symbol or icon, the crown next to your name, and the player moderators will be silver crowns, and the staff moderators will be gold crowns, I believe. Okay, and then we have lots more improvements. So this is where bigger friends list comes. So they're going to give 200 total slots instead of 100, and then multiple hit splats in combat. So basically, if there's two people attacking something at the same time, it will show two people's hit splats. And I believe that it's going to be up to 4 hit splats at a time, I think now. So if like more than 4 people are attacking an enemy, like one person's damage might not be showing up, and that's per tick, I guess, too, I think. So, and they also updated NPCs to make them better at retreating. It says we've improved the intelligence of the NPCs a bit, such as that if they are being attacked from beyond the edge of their wander zone, they will run away rather than just standing there stupidly. So this is the change that they made that basically turned a lot of the previous safe spots that were just outside of a character's range into no longer being safe spots, because the enemy will just retreat then instead of standing still and doing nothing. And then we fixed the bug which meant attacking a player with the dragon spear special attack didn't give a PK skull in the wilderness. I mean, it's kind of a big bug. Apparently you could dragon spear special attack somebody and not receive a skull. Hopefully this is actually fixed on release of special attacks and not at a later point, because that's a pretty big bug, and it will be abused if it isn't fixed. Okay, and then towards the end of June we have 2 more things, and that is Priest in Peril quest was released. So again, this is going to be a quest where you get a decent amount of like prayer experience, if I remember right, along with like the Wolfbane dig. Oops, sorry, Wolfbane dagger, which will, when you're in the town of Canifis, when you attack a citizen that would normally turn into a werewolf, it won't allow them to turn to werewolf, and you'll be able to kill them. And then on top of that, so it'll unlock the um, start of Mauritania. So basically, there won't be any. Um, I so the Slayer Tower won't be there because Slayer's not in the game yet. I don't think the Ectofuntus will be there because I think that Ectofuntus requires you to have the city over there. What's that city called now? Okay, we've got it right here. So essentially, this is what it's going to look like. Um, Canifis will be there, and you'll have these shops. A new tanner, obviously, a new tannery, which I think is going to be maybe it'll be the closest to a bank. Um, it's probably like it's probably really close to the same distance as the Alcred tannery, but just another place to go to tan hides if you want. This will also unlock the fashion scape stuff from the clothing store. So all of your like gold gloves and robes and capes and stuff like that. And then the food shop, which will have like the raw shark, swordfish, stuff like that in it. And then a general store and a bar. And then the Mortmire Swamp is here, but it doesn't look like there's any quests, or I guess it doesn't show any of the quest icons on here. No, it does. It shows quest icons. So I guess it's just going to be one of those things where it's here, but it doesn't look like there's any quests you can start yet in this area. So, yeah. Anyways, that's basically going to be what it looks like. Well, I guess that's about it for that area. Yeah. Anyways, that's what it's gonna entail. We'll move on to the last update, which is the easier to rearrange bank. This is actually one of the ones I'm most looking forward to. Just because it'll be nice to be able to like reorganize my bank. Like my bank is really unorganized right now, and it's hard to like find stuff, and I want to definitely reorganize, but I'm not gonna do it until after this update, basically. So we've added a couple of new options to make it easier to keep the contents of your bank arranged if you want to. First thing they added is at the bottom of the bank screen, you'll now see two buttons marked Insert and Swap. And Swap is the mode that we're used to right now, where an item is dragged from one slot to a new slot, and it'll swap those two items' locations. And it works exactly how it does currently. Now, Insert is going to be the new mode, where you can grab an item and drag it to a position, and it will open up a new slot and drop that item in there. So that way you can organize a lot faster. And then it is now easier to move items a long way across your bank. So now if you drag an item from the top or the bottom of the bank window, the window will automatically scroll up or down now. So it's going to make it a lot faster to reorganize your whole bank. So yeah, anyways, those are some big changes that I'm really looking forward to. And that is the updates for June. Obviously July, you can see there's not a lot of updates. So I don't know if they're going to include June and July as one update. But for now, I'm just going to assume that they're going to kind of go like month by month. But yeah, we don't really know because they haven't released their timeline or time frame on the updates that they initially said that they were going to do. Um, but they just haven't done it yet. They will eventually do it, but they just haven't done it yet. So I think it's just got a lot of people nervous right now as to like, okay, we haven't heard anything as to like when the next update is. So you know, and it's been, I don't know, a couple, or I guess the last update was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago now? I think it was 2 weeks ago was the last update, but I can't remember now. So, anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Basically, just wanted to kind of go through and explain the updates that we can look forward to coming from June. If they do include July in that too, I'm gonna leave a link to this website in the description, and you guys can check out the July as well, or any of these months, and see if there's something that you're really looking forward to. Um, but yeah, hopefully you guys liked the video, and hopefully I was able to help out some of those people that have been asking me about future updates and what that might look like. I know that a lot of it is just speculation, just because we don't know, we don't have time frames given yet from the developers, and yeah, so it is what it is. Anyways, hope you guys all have a great day.